worries, no worries. Okay. All right, so standard feet, a little bit wider than shoulder distance apart. Take your knees together. Take the hands down to the sides. And like I was just mentioning, pull your shoulder blades underneath you and see if you can imagine that triangle between the absolute back of your skull that is touching the floor. So you want to make sure your chin is going to be somewhat perpendicular to the floor. And then from there, your two shoulder blades are flat on the floor. And you can imagine that little triangle. And then we're going to keep that triangle as we start to breathe. And today we'll just do a really sweet full breath. So as you inhale, think about you're pouring water into a vase and you're filling the vase up from the bottom all the way to the top. So all the way up to the clavicles. And then as you exhale, you're emptying as if you're sipping water from a glass from the top. And as you breathe, see if that helps the mind to pull back in from wherever it's been. Wherever it's wandered off to before class. And take all that brain power that you have and focus it in on yourself. And exactly what you need from class today. And from here, take your feet, hip and knees straight up, and then we'll go into supporting cow. So as you exhale, round your lower back, still try to think about that triangle. And as you inhale, you're going to start to rock more onto the base of your skull. And as you exhale, you're going to rock more towards the top of your skull. So playing with that gentle rocking motion, not only in the lower back, but also into the neck. A couple more breaths here, opening up the lower back. And on your next inhale, come into neutral, straighten the left leg. Take the arms out to the sides in a T. And then from here, you want to make sure you have the shoulder blades on the ground underneath you. And then as you inhale, push your right foot down, but keep your right shoulder blade on the floor. So not only are you activating the lower back, middle back with this movement, but you're also opening up the shoulder. So as you inhale, lift, you might feel a gentle opening in the front of the shoulder. And as you exhale, lean. So we're not going to go as deep into the back end as we usually do because we're keeping the shoulder blade on the ground. And you can linger when you come up. You can really focus on that opening in the front of the right shoulder. And then gently turn your head to the left. Linger here. And exhale, come down. Take a break, and then inhale, coming up, opening up the right shoulder. Coming down. One more time, inhale, lifting your right hip up, opening up the right shoulder. You can even start to flip. Your right shoulder blade will come off the ground, but you'll flip the right hand over the thumb. Maybe get a different opening in the right shoulder. If that's too much, you can take your palms back, the back of your hand back down, right shoulder blade still on the ground. You can play with that, opening in the right shoulder if it feels right. And then exhale and come down. Other side. So straighten the right leg bends. Left shoulder blade on the ground. Inhale, lift the left hip up. And exhale, coming down. Inhale, coming up. Maybe finding that opening in the front of the left shoulder. Coming down. And then lingering, inhaling, lifting the left hip up. And then, if it's okay, turn your head to the right. You can take a break, exhale, come down, and then inhale, come back up again. Coming down. One last time. Inhale, lift your left hip up, turn your head to the right, and then you can flip over the left thumb. Seeing how that changes the opening in the left shoulder, or you can take the back of the hand back down. And then exhale, come down. Straighten your left leg. Relax the legs. Relax the arms. Relax and feel. And then from here, you bend your knees. And you're going to go back into that cat-cow. As you exhale, round the lower back. Inhale, lift the lower back. Exhale, take your hands behind your head, rounding the lower back. Take a deep inhale, lifting the lower back. And then exhale, elbows together, gently move into the middle back, rounding, lifting your head up off the floor. Inhaling, coming down. And then exhale. Opening up the thoracic spine. And then go side to side. Couple more times here. And then relax, arms up to the side. And then take your right shin on top of your left thigh. And then from here, you can lift your left foot up off of the floor. Don't grab the back of your left thigh. So you're going to use the power in your left leg to open up the right hip. And exhale, come down and switch the legs. Right foot down, left shin up. And then as much as you can, lift that right foot up off the floor. Maybe it's just the heel coming off, modified, or opening up the left. And exhale, take your right foot down, take your left foot down. Roll over onto the right side. Come on up onto all fours. Take your knees wide. Take your feet together. And then take your hands forward. They're going to be a little bit wider than shoulder distance apart. And you're going to gently keep your head lifted as you push back. Called puppy pose. And then take your palms off of the floor, yeah, so that you're on your fingertips like little spiders. Your hands are spiders. And then you're going to pull your armpits up away from the floor and keep your head lifted. Try to pull your shoulder blades in and down your back. And breathe. And then inhale, come on up, and then we're going to go to child's pose, which can be tricky for knees. So a modification could be you take a towel or the blanket and you place it behind your knees. Take it in. And then when you come down, you'll take your head towards the floor. Is that okay, Nita? Is that okay on your knees? Okay. Inhale, come on to all fours. And this time we're going to walk your hands over to the left. Same thing. Come on to your fingertips. Palms are off the floor, and it's like a side puppy pose. So you'll feel this along the outside of your right shoulder blade. Keep your head lifted. Don't drop your head down. Keep it lifted. Remember that triangle, your two shoulder blades in the back of your head. Try to keep those guys in alignment. And the same thing as each other as much as possible. Stretching out the outside of the right shoulder blade. All that serratus, interior goodness going on there. Breathing. So hips are lifted. So you can kind of dial it in a little bit. So the more you sit back, the more there's an opening. If it's too much, you can shift your hips forward. And then inhale, walk the hands to center, and then go back into child's pose and rest. And then inhale, come on to all fours, other side. So you're gonna walk the hands over to the right. And just keep the palms off of the floor on your fingertips, and then you're gonna pull the hips back, head and shoulders together, not dropping the forehead to the floor, keeping the head lifted. And then you can dial it in with the hips, trying to get that nice opening along the left side of the body. Keep breathing. And then inhale, walking hands to center, and go back into your child. And then take your hands down to the sides, push yourself up. And take your blanket out from underneath you. And then what we'll do is you're gonna come to the middle of your mat, right? And then you're gonna take your left leg out and your right hand down. So you're in this side, yeah? And when you're on the side, you want to have your hand slightly in front of your shoulder. So it's not directly underneath it, it's slightly in front. Yeah? Cool. And then what you're going to do is, I'm going to flip the other way. So your shoulder blade can be kind of either into your back or off of your back. What I'm going to ask you to do is pull it into the back. And then you're going to spin your right hand clockwise, isometrically, to engage your right shoulder blade deeper into your back. So you're going to spin. That's going to cause your left shoulder to come up, more up towards the ceiling. And you will not only want to spin the hand, get the right shoulder blade deeper into the back, but then pull your shoulder blade down the back just a little bit. And breathe. Reach your left arm up to the sky. That feels okay. Keep your head back. So make sure your head and shoulders are going back together. The more you pull the right shoulder blade onto the back, the more the head has to go back with it. And then exhale, look down. Keep your left hand down. And then switch sides. So taking the right foot out, left hand down and slightly in front of the left shoulder, so it's not directly underneath it. And then from here, we're going to gently spin the left shoulder, the hand, so the left shoulder blade comes onto the back more. And not only does it come onto the back more, but it goes down just a little bit, and then take your head back and take your right arm up if that's okay, if you've got the balance. So the left shin is the balance, the right foot helps with the balance, core helps with the balance. Breathe. There you go, nice, Nita. That's good. One more breath here. And then exhale, take it down. And then child's pose again. Relax. Head can come to the floor. And then hands down to the sides. Push yourself up. So did that make sense? The hand moving and screwing?
Yeah, it totally did.
Okay, cool. So, and it's easy to keep your head forward, right, when you do that, because we're efforting. The key is to pull it back and the head back at the same time. It's all like one unit.
Yeah, I can feel it like all up and down. It's awesome. Thank you.
Okay, cool. Just want to make sure you got that. Okay, coming back. All right, so from here, we're gonna come onto our bellies. And then you're gonna have your forearms on top of each other and place your forehead onto your forearms. And then turn your toes under, squeeze your thighs. Yeah? And lift your kneecaps off of the floor. Push your pelvis into the floor. And so get this feeling from your, kind of like your belly button down, that it's all kind of one movement, if you will, of the belly button pulls in, your pelvis pushes down, your thighs engage, your knees lift up, and you reach to the heels. It's a lot. It's a lot of cues. But see if you can combine all of that into one feeling of engagement in the core of the body, reaching all the way down to the heels, and then let that go. So it'll come in handy when we go into a little bit of a back bend to think of that as one feeling, one movement with your lower back and the legs and the feet. There's an engagement. So it protects the lower back. Okay, so let's try it again. Forehead's on your forearms. Turn your toes under. Push your pelvis down, engage your quads, lift your knees up off the floor, reaching to the heels. And then this time, keep your hands to the sides of your chest. You're going to keep your head lifted, but not chin up, just lifted. And then same thing when you're just practicing on your hands on the sides. You're going to push your hands down and then screw them. You're going to turn your right hand clockwise, left hand counterclockwise, and you feel your shoulder blades engage behind you and pull them in and down your back. And your chest will lift just a little bit in sympathy. Keep pushing your pelvis to the floor and relax. Forehead on your forearms, relax the legs. So give me a thumbs up if you're with me on that one, if that makes sense. Okay, cool. Here we go. So now we're going to move just a little bit deeper. So it's, again, we're going into that mini upper back bend now. Lower back is kind of already in a back bend because of the legs. So push your pelvis down. Engage your thighs, reach to your heels. Belly button in. Head is going to be lifted, but not chin lifted. You're lifting your whole skull up. Hands to the sides of your chest, and then push your, now grip with your thumbs into your mat, and see if that engages your shoulder blades even more. And then as you inhale, see if you can lift your chest up another half an inch without losing the pelvis pushing into the floor. And breathe, hard to breathe here. And release. And you're going to come onto the side of your face now. And then we're going to do that one more time. One more variation. So this time, you're going to bend your knees, flex your feet, and then you're going to push your pelvis into the ground. It's not going to go as far as before, because your thighs can't lift as much. Then, hands to the sides of your chest, head's lifted but not chin. Screw your right hand to the clockwise direction, screw your left hand to the counterclockwise direction, and then grip with your thumb. Keep pushing your pelvis into the floor and lift your chest up just a little bit more. Not lifting with your chin. Shoulders come into the back and down, and maybe come up a little higher. Keep breathing. And release. And relax. And then come onto all fours and push back into child's pose. And then inhale, come on up. Okay. So come onto your knees. And then take your right foot forward. There you go. We're going to go into quads a little bit, your favorite. And then from here, you're going to take your fingertips onto the floor if that's available. Yeah. Take your hands to the inside of your right foot. And then push your left knee down to lift your left crease of your hip up just a little bit. So you're not hanging into the front of the left thigh. There's just a little bit of lift. So it's not passive, it's very active in terms of what the front of the left thigh is feeling. And then if you want to go deeper, the way to go deeper is to not just hit the hips down. It's actually to think of this, like you're reaching to your right kneecap forward and your left kneecap down and into the floor. So it's more like a splits feeling, like you're not trying to get down, but you're trying to reach to the feet. And in this case, you're reaching to the knees. Because often when we think of splits, which we're not doing today, but when we think of splits, we think of, oh, we're just trying to use gravity to push us down, but actually you get a lot of opening if you're reaching to the feet, just like when you're reaching to the knees. It's very much like the splits. But we're not sagging into the hips. And then come on up, switch legs. So left foot forward. And then you're going to take your fingertips down. Hands to the inside of the left foot. And then from here, you can take your hips down, but then push your right kneecap down into the floor to lift the right hip up just a little bit. And then scissors. So you're reaching to both knees to move down. And you can even play with that. If you let go, the hips will go down farther, but it's a very passive hanging out in the front of the right hip. So I'm asking for a more active stretch. Breathe. And then come on up. Come on to all fours. Push back, child's pose, rest. You can take your hands back now to your heels, pull yourself in just a little bit more. Inhale, come on up. Okay, so we're gonna go just a little deeper again. Same thing, so right leg forward, left knee back. You might want to place some padding underneath your left knee if that hurts. You don't have enough cushion there. And then from here, hands to the inside. Same thing here, you're gonna push your left kneecap down to lift your hips up just a little bit so you're not sagging, still lifting. Reaching to the right kneecap, left kneecap. This time you're gonna take your left foot up off of the floor. And you're still reaching. Reaching to both knees actively. And release. Walk your hands back. Take your right knee back and left foot forward. Other side. Same thing here. You're going to find that activation by pushing your right kneecap down, lifting your right hip up again, and reaching to the knees just like you did before. And then this time you're going to bend your right knee. Pull the right foot up. Breathe. A lot of sensation in your quads. And then inhale, come on up. And child's pose again. Okay. How'd that go? How did the knee feel on this one, Nita? Sorry to make you come up again.
I have you muted so that you don't hear all the cat screams. No, it was good. The thing that what I was adjusting to is that my hamstring tends to cramp.
Yeah.
So when the knee went up, it got triggered, and I was like, oh, okay, I need to stretch it out and kind of try it. But other than that, yeah, we're getting to some interesting places. I'm loving it.
Yeah. So okay, so keep your sound on. I'm cool with cats.
Oh, okay.
I got dogs. I'm used to a hound dog, so cat screaming is okay because I want to hear if you have an issue with this one. Because what we'll try to do, because it is a hamstring, that's one way to open up is by activating your hamstring to lift it up. This time we're going to take a strap because this is that closed chain thing that you were struggling with last time. Yeah. And I just want to hear if this is bothering your knee if we go into the strap. And this way you're kicking your foot into the strap, so you're not activating the hamstring, you're activating the quad even more as you open up. So this will get you out of the hamstring cramp, but I want to make sure your knee's okay. So I was trying to avoid your knee and give you a quad opening today, but by going another direction, but your hamstring seems to be cramping. So let's try the other way again.
Okay.
Let's see if you still have knee pain with the closed chain. Okay?
Okay. Yeah, sounds great.
It's a little tricky to get into. Okay. So on this one, so right leg forward, left leg back. And then you're gonna, from here, you're gonna lasso the front of the left foot.
This is the hard part.
It is the hardest part. It's the hardest part.
Okay, got it.
Okay, good. All right, so from here, it is a bit of a balance. So you're gonna have your right hand down, and as you come up, you're gonna kick your foot into the strap, push your left knee down, reach to your knees, and keep kicking into the strap. Can you get into the quad here?
Yeah.
Yeah. How's knee?
Knee's fine.
Good. Breathe. Now the benefit of this one is because you're kicking into the strap, you naturally lift your left hip up. What's up?
I'm getting like the hip is getting into it, like the front of the hip.
That's okay. That's in there.
It hurts.
Yep. So the hip flexor, you mean?
Yeah, like right here.
Yep. Okay, so when you push your left knee down,
Yeah.
that should back that off. You see what I'm saying?
Got it. Yeah, right. Not
Good.
just pulling it
Try
back.
it again. Same side. We'll do the other side twice as long. Okay. So yeah, doing the tricky lassoing. I swear it is the hardest part of this posture. Here we go. Okay. Then once you have that, coming into it. Then from here you're gonna kick, pull in, and then how's the hip? So when the hip starts to talk, push your left knee down more and back that left hip up again a bit more.
Yeah, that's helping. Yeah.
Okay, good. Keep moving. And then you can dial it in more intensely by shifting the hips a little bit more forward. So supporting yourself with the right hand.
Ah, there we go.
Yeah. Knee okay?
Yeah.
Good.
I've got a super puffy mat.
And come on down. Relax. Okay, did we find it then?
We did.
Awesome.
Full success.
Now we just have to figure out a way to strap the foot with some sort of elegance.
Like this strap, this stretch strap where it has.
Yeah, I have one of those at home. Those are awesome.
Yeah, that makes it slightly easier.
Much more civilized. Okay, so the other side, so left, so maybe strap the foot first. And then take the left foot forward. Left hand on the floor. Kick your foot into the strap. Push your right knee into the ground. Lift your right hip up. Right crease up, and then slowly shifting the hips forward. Moving more into the quad.
Yeah, that's nice.
Awesome. It's a little tricky on the shoulder, so go easy on the shoulder. Couple more breaths. We're holding this side extra long. And relax. Release. Child's pose. Okay, inhale, coming on up. So what we're gonna do is you're gonna grab your blankets or towels, so we're gonna sit on them. The key is to sit in such a way that your hips, or that your knees are below the crest of your hips. Sit in Sukhasana, which is gonna be the kind of your kid's way of sitting cross-legged. And it definitely you'll have to sit a little bit higher if you're used to sitting in a different cross-legged posture like this one, because the knees will naturally come down lower. So that blanket might be a little higher up. And then from here, what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your hands back, shoulder blades on the back like we were practicing in our back bends. Take your head back with your shoulders. Because if your head comes forward and your shoulders go back, that creates that tension in your neck. So keep your head and shoulders moving back together. Reach your right arm up. And then as you exhale, twist to the left. Right hand comes to the outside of the left knee. Left hand is still behind you. As you inhale, lean to the left a little bit. Bend your elbows out to the sides. Take a deep breath in into the back right side of your body. And as you exhale, pull the back right side of the body into the front left. So the front left side of your rib cage expands as you move into the twist. The head is just like you're not trying to force the head to the left. You're just gently taking the head towards the left. Maybe creating a little bit of a tickle of the opening in the neck on the right side of the neck. And then inhale, look, turn your head forward. Take a deep exhale. And then inhale the rest of the spine out of the twist. And then switch your legs. So we typically take the familiar side first, so this side will feel a little different, that's okay. And then from here, take your left arm or left hand to the outside of the right knee, take your right hand behind you, and then as you inhale, expand and bow forward and expand the back left side of the body. And then as you exhale, pull to the front right and twist to the right. And then very gently, you're turning your head to the right. Inhale, turn your head forward. Hold and exhale. And then inhale out of the twist. Switch your legs. And this time we're going to slowly start to walk your hands forward until you feel the tickle in the hips. So it'll be mostly in the hip where the shin is underneath the other shin. So my right shin is underneath my left shin, and I'm feeling this more in my right hip.
Yeah.
Bottom shin, that hip. There you go. Now, again, here, the tendency is to drop the head. So see if you can come onto your fingertips so that spider hands movement, so that your shoulders stay a little lifted and your head stays lifted, and you're putting the emphasis into the hips as opposed to trying to encourage the entire movement with your head and shoulders and neck. I find that when the palms come up, it inspires the shoulders to stay lifted, as opposed to palms down, shoulders will drop down and I'll round in the upper back. But we're trying to keep the emphasis in the hips independent of the shoulders. And then inhale, come on up, switch your shins. This will feel like the wrong way. And come in forward. Now there is a time when you would drop your palms and you would round, the whole back would go into this very gentle forward fold, but we're kind of cutting it off today because of your head and neck and shoulder.
Yeah.
So instead, focus on the neck. And then inhale, come on up. Take your legs forward. Kind of shake them out. All right. What we're going to do is we have a little bit of time for some restorative. So we're going to do the bottom, the supported bound angle pose so that you can get back into your shoulders and your neck. So taking the blankets, holding them up, fan fold. Facing into the front third of your mat, stagger the bottom so you don't have a hard hit in your lower back. Grabbing your pillows, whatever you got, or blocks to support your shins. And then walk your feet in. Support the shins, knees come out, lie back. And then today, you don't want to feel like your chin is lifted so much that it's hard to breathe. You want a softness in the neck. But you don't necessarily want to have that action like you have, when you're sleeping at night and there's a pillow under your head and your head is lifted, but your shoulders are back. We're trying to maintain the shoulders and the back of your head in that same plane. So if you do tend to want to make a little bit of a pillow, make sure it's just slight today. In fact, I just did this thing where I kind of pulled the wrinkle into my neck as opposed to underneath the back of my skull. So I'm just supporting my neck curve, my cervical spine, as opposed to propping my skull up a little bit. And then take the arms out to the sides and see how that goes. And so we're going to be here for a couple of minutes. So make sure it's comfy, adjust as you need to, as the body starts to accommodate the props and start to mold, if you will, to the props. It might find a hot spot where the prop needs to be. Okay, then from here, you're gonna take your hands to the outside of your thighs, pull your knees in towards each other. We're gonna go into that twist. So you're gonna push your feet down, lift your hips over to the left a little bit, and then take your knees over to the right. And then once you have that, turn your head gently to the left, just a little bit, like 45 degrees. And then gently turn your head straight up. And then inhale, take your knees up. Push your feet down, lift your hips up and over to the right. And then take your knees over to the left. And gently then turn your head to the right about. And then from here, turn your head straight up again. Inhale, take your knees up. Push your feet down, tip your spine into neutral. Take the pillow over tops, kick them out from the sides of your shins. And then roll onto your good side. Onto the arm, so that your head's in neutral, spine's in neutral. Just letting the spine come back. And if you can, reach behind you and move the towels and blankets out of the way. You're going to roll onto your back. And then if you need to, you can place a pillow or something underneath your knees if your lower back tends to be on the tender side. And then we're going to go into that final relaxation pose called Shavasana. Even here, put your shoulder blades underneath you. Make sure your chin, if you will, is parallel to the floor. Your jaw is perpendicular to the floor. However you want to think of it. Chin is in neutral, so it doesn't feel like it's lifting up or down. Neck is relaxed. And then do a gentle body scan. Starting at your toes, comparing the right foot to the left foot. Right big toe, left big toe. Right arch, left arch. Right heel to left heel. And then right ankle versus the left ankle. Right calf, left calf. Right shin, left shin. Right kneecap, left kneecap. Right hamstring, thighs, left side, upper thighs. Right quads, left quad. Right hip, left hip. Right side of your sacrum, left side of your sacrum. Right side of your lower back, left side. Your stomach feel, your abs. Moving up to the back of the middle back. Right side, left side. Right shoulder blade, left shoulder blade. Right side of your chest, left side of your chest. Right shoulder and left shoulder. Think of your arms, right tricep, left tricep. Right bicep, left bicep. Right forearm, left forearm. Right palm of your hand versus the left palm of your hand. Right base of your thumb. Base of your right thumb, I should say. And then the base of your left thumb. Little pockets of tension, little smooth places where we can put the fingers on your right hand versus the fingers on your left hand. Move back up to the back of your neck. And then to the front of your neck. And then the back of your skull, top of your skull, moving into your forehead, right eye versus the left eye, right side of your jaw versus the left side. And then let the scan go. And then take a deeper breath. And gently start to move your toes, and then your fingers. You can move your feet around your ankles, hands around your wrists. If it feels okay, you can reach your arms overhead. Take a deeper breath in, opening up the rib cage. And then as you exhale, push your feet down, maybe on the cross or on the floor. And then roll over onto your good side. And stay here for a moment. And then take your left hand or other arm, the top, shoulders, and down, and push yourself up. And find a seat. Tricky seat. You can sit on the ground comfortably. If you can't, you can lie right back down on the ground. You just want to take a moment to finish the practice. So there's a little more yoga than, a lot more yoga than just the physical practice. There's the mental, emotional part of the practice. So sitting up, if you're sitting. Shoulders back, head back. Even here, practicing that tall sitting with the head and the shoulders integrated. So hard to do when we're at a keyboard. So hard to do when we're thinking intensely. So when we think to the future, when we're thinking to the forward, we tend to rock the forehead forward. So we want to keep that head back right now. So it's a symbol of being present, of being in the now. And then you can take your hands together in front of your heart, bow your head to yourself. And then take your hands down, lift your head, open the eyes. So good to see you, Anita.